He's one of the top analysts in the game with NBC. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion, courtesy of Vizio right here. He's Rodney Harrison. How are you, Rodney?
Hey, Rich. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
No, you got it. I will give you the floor. What did you take away from the divisional playoff weekend the most?
Wow, two teams that really couldn't handle the moment. I picked the Indianapolis Colts stupidly to shock the world and to beat Kansas City, and they just couldn't handle the moment. Really surprised at Andrew Luck and the Colts and all the mistakes and things like that, but I was really impressed with Kansas City, Andy Reid's ability, in terms of his play calling, and it was good to see Big Red win a game, man. Just, everybody's been on Big Red, and to be able to meet up with the Patriots, I was really wasn't surprised with the Los Angeles Chargers. They've been in, situations close to this, and they haven't been able to handle the moment. Just disappointing because I'm such a big fan of Phillip Rivers. I thought they would have had a better showing.
Yeah, so what did the Patriots do to the Chargers? They deleted the most complete team, supposedly, that we've been talking about. So what did they do?
I think mentally, man, it's just so hard. Like, a lot of times, if you have not beat Tom Brady and the Patriots, you don't walk in there with a lot of confidence. Like the Miami Dolphins, for whatever reason, always feel like they could beat the Patriots. But you're the Chargers, you don't have that confidence, and it just seems like the Patriots were well-rested. It almost looked like the Chargers kind of took them for granted. You hear everything about Brady's not the same. Gronk only had one catch, I think. He doesn't look the same, and Edelman looks slow. And then all of a sudden you get these guys 2 weeks of rest and preparation time. Now they look like, one of the top two teams in the league, or at least in the AFC, and I thought you saw that.
So, I mean, and not to make any excuses, but is there any credence to the idea that the Chargers were in Denver week 17 and then back-to-back weeks in the early window on Sunday when it's 10 a.m. in their West Coast heads?
Oh, yeah.
Rodney?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I played in the league a long time and had to make those trips back before, West Coast, East Coast, and it's tough. And when you have a young team and they felt like they've already surpassed expectations, sometimes you can take teams for granted. Sometimes you can get a little bit too comfortable, and sometimes that change and that travel, it wears you down. You got to understand, like, these guys, a lot of these guys just came from college. They're not used to this, the scrutiny, the pressure, the preparation, all the things that it takes. And then you give Coach Belichick 2 weeks, and Rob Gronkowski talked about it. Hey, I got a chance, few days to get away, let my mind free. And when you have that time away, man, it refreshes you. And remember, this is a veteran team. They've had a lot of success over the years.
So what is Bill Belichick, best you can tell, having played for them, having won for him, Rodney Harrison, what is he waking up thinking about as soon as he turns the page to the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, Mahomes, et cetera?
Well, I mean, he's very familiar with the team, and, obviously he's going to give his team a day off to rest and kind of just enjoy the victory. But he's already broken a lot of them down. Trust me, they've always do work ahead, so he's looking at the weapons, how to eliminate the big plays. The thing for the Patriots is they have two cornerbacks that are playing at a really high level, so they feel like they can match up. He'll take Tyreek Hill away and Travis Kelce on third down in the red zone. So he'll have some things that he can kind of, put in there, matchups, and, Patrick Chung versus Travis Kelce. So it's a lot of different things, but they'll be ready, man. And trust me, I asked the Chiefs fans when I was down there on Saturday, who would you want? And a lot of them said, hey, I want the Chargers. And as I said, why not the Patriots? Oh, man, nobody wants Brady and Belichick. So it's going to be a fun matchup, Rich. I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny every time that I mention Belichick to say somebody like Brian Billick on NFL Network, he jokes, he goes, yeah, he's the only coach in the history of football that takes away the one thing that you do best. No other coaches attempt to do that. And his tongue is firmly, obviously, planted in cheek. What about Andy Reid? What do you think he sees in this Patriots team that he thinks he can exploit at home with Mahomes?
I think it's not even about, I don't think he's even looking at the Patriots team like that. I think it's more about, his trust and his ability with his team. And I think, he has a script. He has a mindset of what his team wants to do, and that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? They're going to make adjustments according to if you blitz a lot, if you play a lot of zone. But Andy Reid is so smart, and he's so confident with this young quarterback. And let me tell you, Rich, this was the first time I got a chance to see him up close and personal.
Yep.
I didn't realize a couple things. I didn't realize he was that tall because he looks about 6 foot on television. He's like 6'3", And the kid, it's just no mistake bothers him. He's like unfazed by mistakes. He's so mature and so humble and just so dynamic. I've never seen anything like it. This is the only second time I've said wow when I watched the quarterback. The first time is when I watched Michael Vick play.
Is that right? So he's Vick and him are the only wow factors for you watching a quarterback.
Let me ask you. You've watched a lot of quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you've seen Michael Vick first come in this league, you said, wow, didn't you?
Yeah, it was part of the DVD, Duckett, Vick, and, Dunn Falcons, and you didn't see anybody like that. And the only, I guess, I'd throw Aaron Rodgers in there, the ability to uncork a throw across a body, that sort of thing. Favre on occasion will do that, but I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? It's just every week, Aaron Rodgers could actually be put in that category as well as Brett Favre. But you know what I'm saying? This guy has that generational talent, man, and just how humble he is and how he deals with the media and just everything that he brings, man. His parents did a wonderful job, and I couldn't be prouder just from a former player watching him.
Yeah, I know, and what he represents for Chiefs Kingdom. I mean, he's the first drafted quarterback by the Chiefs to win a playoff game for the Chiefs, who have never hosted an AFC Championship game until he arrived. Rodney Harrison here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's quickly turn to the NFC. Rams and Saints, your first blush reaction to that NFC Championship matchup is what?
Can the Rams defense keep it up? We saw how they played, but they're going to be facing a different quarterback. They're not going to be facing Dak Prescott, and that's not a shot at Dak Prescott, but you're going to be facing Drew Brees. And I think the number one thing that sticks out to me is, like, how do you not double-team Michael Thomas? You know this is the guy. You know what I mean? It's like, I know they do a good job. They hit, I think he hit 9 different receivers. But this is the one guy, and it just seems like Belichick is the only coach out there that's ever, I'm going to take away the one guy that that we don't want to have success. And it's like other coaches need to follow that simple format. And there's no way, if I'm the defensive coordinator, I would not let Michael Thomas light me up. No way. It'd be Keith Kirkwood. It'd be those other guys, but it would not be Michael Thomas having a big day.
And so the Rams with C.J. Anderson, it's remarkable how somebody that gets picked up in Week 16 could be such a difference maker, but he's won a Super Bowl, and the ability to keep Gurley healthy and rested, and then he's like a battering. He looks like Ironhead Hayward all of a sudden.
Dude, it's
Rodney.
Amazing. I was so happy for that kid. I listened to him in a post-game interview, and he was fantastic, Rich, listening to him, and just how he got released from a bunch of different teams, and how he really started coming in at 5:30 in the morning, learning the playbook, and just it was a really great story, and the way he's running and just the level of intensity and sense of urgency and how physical, and now you can get a guy that goes in there and takes those extra shots and wear the defense down. So when Gurley gets in, he's so much faster, and it almost seems like Gurley has another pep in his step because that it's not all on him. That's a lot of pressure for a young man year in and year out.
Well, Irvin and Maurice Jones-Drew on Game Day Morning on Sunday say that Gurley deep down is looking to say, hey, how come I'm not inside the 5-yard line? How come I'm not inside the game myself now? They think.
Well, of course, from a competitive standpoint,
right.
You want to be up in there and you want to score touchdowns. But at the end of the day, it's about winning football games. And if it's his time to rest and chill, that's what you do. Everybody knows that Todd Gurley is the best running back in the National Football League. He doesn't have to go out there and prove it on within the 5-yard line, but he's the starting running back, and at the end of the day, when it matters most, he's going to be in there.
Well, Rodney Harrison, you are here on behalf of Vizio's Top Value Performer Award, which recognizes the players whose on-field performance most exceeds the value of their contract. Are you going to try and sneak C.J. Anderson as a late ad as a nominee here, Rodney?
Well, the nominees are Blake Martinez, Chris Carson, Tyler Boyd, Philip Lindsay, and Kenny Galladay. And in order to go on and vote, you got to go to Vizio.com/TVP. You can vote up until January 20th, and the fans can enter for a chance to win their very own Vizio M-Series 70-inch TV and home theater sound system, Rich.
Well, CJ, I mean, you know what I mean? Can we pound a table? CJ Anderson would definitely fit this category
guys
here,
that
right?
have done it all year. Now,
okay.
out of all those guys,
yes.
I know who you're going to say, Philip Lindsay, Carson, Tyler Boyd, Blake Martinez, and Kenny Galladay. For me, I'm going Lindsay, Philip Lindsay. Last week I was talking – go ahead.
Yeah, I said, how could you not, right? I mean, he was incredible.
just undrafted free, and he makes it to the Pro Bowl, and it was a lot of disappointing parts on that offense, but, I mean, he was the one bright spot. So.
Yeah, and Chris Carson was terrific, too. Tyler Boyd, Kenny Golladay, Blake Martinez. Go again to Vizio.com/TVP to vote for the top value performer. Before I let you go, Rodney Harrison, your prediction as to who's going to play in Atlanta for the Super Bowl would be, first blush? What do you got?
Whew. I'm going Saints. And I'm going Patriots.
Yeah, that is the last team the Chiefs wanted to see coming. It really is. Here comes Brady and Belichick, but that's why in Mahomes they trust, man. They really believe in him. So
what about Rich Eisen? Who does he think is going to be in this?
Rodney before the season. And Chris Brockman, my producer sitting out here, my compadre sitting out here, can attest, correct, Chris Brockman? Before the season.
Correct.
I said Patriots, Rams, and Rams win it all. That's what I said prior to the season. So I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it right now. I'm sticking with it. Thank you. Rodney, you take care, man.
You're wrong, though, but good for you.
That's why you are who you are. That's why you're doing as well as you are in NBC and also with the Vizio. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. That's Rodney Harrison, at Rodney_Harrison on Twitter.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.